Vegas on the screen, feeling the flow, so pristine. Boom, as the beats align. Electric dreams, they intertwine.
Rock killing in a spin, talking life's wild jive, sipping on wisdom with a grin. Midlife mischief keeps it live. Laughs and stories, cheers all around. Raise a glass where wisdom's found. With a sip of truth.
I have menopause.
Profound. The jokes and tales by the fire's glow, discussing changes the season show.
I'm waiting for the music to stop. Okay, music stopped. And Lynn is still dancing. I'm Raquel Kornielikis, that's Lynn Dula, and if you are watching us, you have accidentally stumbled onto Midlife Mischief. Welcome, pour yourself a glass of wine or coffee, and sit down and enjoy. Hi, Lynn.
Hi.
You look pretty. Hey, we're both wearing spring colors.
Thanks.
I know.
Yes.
How are you?
I'm good. I made my bread.
And I saw you sent me some pictures, but how'd it go? How'd it go? Oh no. Oh no.
It tastes good.
Okay.
It tastes good. It's a little dense.
Oh.
It's not light and fluffy.
Okay. It should be.
Yeah, it's not. And when I cooked it, it's like a biscuit dense.
Oh. Okay. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. What did you do?
I have an issue with the yeast.
Okay. What kind of yeast did you use?
The kind you told me to get.
Okay. 2
In the
tablespoons?
jar.
Yeah.
Yep.
2 tablespoons? Was the water warm or hot or cold?
It wasn't cold. It wasn't hot. It was warm.
Okay.
But I need a temperature probably. Maybe I need a temperature. I showed you what my yeast looked like.
Yeah.
Mine didn't look like yours.
No, it didn't. How long did you let it sit before you added everything else? Was it a long time?
No.
Okay.
Maybe about 10, 15 minutes, I guess. No, 5 minutes. It
About
was
5 minutes? Huh. I don't know. Maybe it's the weather. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know.
I don't
know.
Huh.
Yeast has always been my problem when I make bread. Like, it just doesn't do well for me.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear you have a yeast problem.
The flavor is there. I mean, it tastes good with butter or without. It's like it's good. It's just
not what
not
you're
light and fluffy.
Okay. Huh.
No.
Let me think about it, and let me think about it, and I'll get back to you because I don't know. I don't know what that would be, what the cause would be. For people who are trying to follow along and don't understand what we're talking about, Lynn and I recorded a baking episode of the bread that I make, and she tried to do it, and apparently it didn't go as planned. That episode will be aired next Sunday. Aaron is editing it today or tonight, and there are clips from last week's show on my page. I don't know if you posted on your page, but take a look at those because that's from last week. And the episode with the baking is going to be aired next Sunday is Easter Sunday, yeah?
Yes.
Yes. Easter Sunday, and then it's a part 2, so there will be another one that will be airing a week after that.
Sunday? Hold on.
I believe it
No,
is. No,
it's the week after.
let me see. It's the
Next Sunday is
20th, the 22nd, yeah? Right.
This coming Sunday is the 13th.
Right. The 20th is what yeah, okay. So it'll be 2 weeks from now we'll be airing the bread episode. So, what else did you do this week? How did it go?
Oh, it went well. I worked.
Yeah. No major issues?
Yeah. Just issues. No major issues with work. Just issues with my adult children. They're going through some life challenges. And so I'm trying to help them through. But once they become adults, it's not too much you can actually do to help them. You can only support, advise, and just be a shoulder. But the actual physicality of doing, they have to do. Like, my hands are tied. I can't do anything.
Yeah.
Because they're adults, So I can just pray and, encourage, motivate.
I personally think I think it's one of the hardest parts of parenting is having adult children and watching them try to figure things out when you can help them, but you also know that you can't. You have to take that step back and just watch and hope, and like you said, pray, and then just be there to maybe pick up the pieces when it does, if it does fall apart, which sometimes it will, and hope that you've given them enough that they can learn the lessons. Because if you do it for them, that's the problem. They're not going to learn the lessons. And it's super important in the beginning of adulthood for them to learn those lessons, because so many people, as we can see in 2025, have not learned lessons that they were supposed to be learning. So we don't want to do that. So I get it.
And to make sure that they understand that your lack of help isn't that you don't care.
Exactly.
Or that you don't want to be there. It's you can't do for them. So, when you are in college or on a job and you are tasked with the responsibility, then your mother can't come to your job or to your school and help you through your responsibilities that have been tasked to you.
But why not? How come? Why can't you do that?
I know, right? Especially when they're young. Especially when they're young adults. I hate the fact that we as a country have our adults are 18.
Yeah.
I think adulthood should actually be earned.
Yep.
Like the label of an adult should be earned and not just thrust upon them. I mean, you just came out of puberty and now you're an adult.
Well, I think I saw this week. I either saw a clip of something or I read an article. I can't remember which one it was, but the adult brain does not completely develop for women until 25 and men until 26 or 27. So they are technically still, and I had no idea. I know that when I was that age, there was no way I could have been a mom at the age of 21 or 22. I just was not in that headspace. I would have screwed up my kids so badly. I would have made so many mistakes. I probably would have ended up with the wrong person, and it just would have been a disaster. But I'm thankful that I did go through some of the crap that I went through and didn't end up a mom married and making grown-up decisions and choices until I was about 30. And it seemed to be the right age because I understood the lessons. I understood what I needed to do, and I wasn't in that, oh, but I don't feel like being a mom. I want to go party, and someone
Right.
here, Mom, can you come and take the kids so I can go out tonight? I need to get out. I need to go party. I need to have my life. I need to do me. And I would have been that person. I know myself, and I know I would have been. And so I know I wasn't ready, but there's so many people. You're right. I mean, just because you're in college doesn't mean you're fully grown up. So it's hard.
I like to tell my kids that legally you're an adult,
Yeah.
but in actuality, you're not grown.
Yeah.
You're an adult. You don't become grown in my eyes until there's a day where you don't have to call me and say, Mom, I need this, or I need that, or can you do this for me, or can you do that for me? When you can sustain yourself and take care of yourself and make your own decisions and stand by those decisions, that to me is when you're officially grown. So I couldn't even imagine myself at 30 anything calling my mom or dad and asking them, hey, can you help me pay my light bill? Or, hey, can you put gas in my car? Or, you know, I couldn't imagine me doing that at that age. And I know a lot of people do.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, to me, if you still have to rely on resources from someone else, and I'm not talking about advice, I'm just saying if you need somebody to physically care for you financially or put a roof over your head, to me, you're not exactly grown. You're more of an adult.
Yeah.
You're an adult, but you're not grown yet. So that's what I tell my boys, because I'm trying to make sure they understand the difference, because they can't come to me and say, I'm grown. No, you're not. I still pay you rent.
Do they do that? They don't do that, do they?
Don't, because I've drilled it into them. They better not ever. So, like, from when they were teenagers and younger, I'm like, don't you ever say that to me. But I know a lot of my friends who have kids that say that on a regular basis. I'm grown. I can do what I want to. And you're living in their house.
See, mine have never
Eating their
done that.
food.
Mine have never,
Yeah.
ever done that. And I've never had any of my kids say, I hate you. Have I?
Me either.
No, we haven't. I've never had my kids
At
turn
least
around and
that's
say,
my
I
face.
hate you, blah, you ruined my life or anything, and blah, blah, blah. And I never had that. And I never had, well, I'm a grown up, I can do what I want, or I can do. I never had, I have not had that. I don't.
Because they understand. They understand, and they don't need to be told. They get it.
Maybe,
They
yeah.
get it.
I think
Yeah.
maybe they tried when they were going through puberty, that thing where, you know, they cross their arms and they try and give you that I'm a grown up look, you know, like grr. And I just plant my feet and I look right back at them, and I believe what I said to my daughter was, you can't use that look on me because I gave it to you, and I know exactly what you're thinking, and you need to go, turn around, go to your room, get yourself together, and then when you can talk to me like you think you're a grown-up, then we can sit down and we can have a grown-up conversation. But don't do this. This is not going to get you anything. You need to turn around and just go back to your room. I'm not interested. And from that point on, I don't think she tried it after that ever. It doesn't work. She knows it doesn't work. So if they know early it doesn't work, then they don't do it. It's like a temper tantrum. It's no different than a temper tantrum. And I used to just step over her when she would put herself on the ground and kick and scream. I would just step over her and continue on whatever I was doing, and I never paid any attention. And then she would stop because it didn't work. So
I don't think I've had anybody throw a tantrum. I don't recall any of the kids throwing any type of tantrum. If they did, they didn't like get on the floor or throw things.
Oh,
Or nothing like that.
Tegan would, but when she was about 2 or 3, and it was definitely for dramatic effect, and I would laugh, and then just step over her, but never in public. Not one time did any of my kids ever have a meltdown or a temper tantrum in public, ever. I never had that problem. And because as soon as they started fussing or making any of those sounds, like it looked like they were in a mood, I would simply turn around and leave the store. I'm like, I'm not doing this. I'm not, because I want to enjoy my time out, and I don't want to do this. So we'll go home and we'll try again another time. You guys can't behave. We'll go home. That's fine. I'll go out by myself later when your dad gets home. And I never had a problem because we would leave.
I don't think I've ever left the store, but I have gotten in their face.
Okay.
And had that one-on-one conversation, eye to eye, like, and that, no matter what the age is, I would, get them to me and get right in their face and talk to them, and if I'm talking to them through gritted teeth, they understand that, you don't have another chance to get this right. So yeah, that was pretty much it. I think one time when Jaden was maybe 3, he was trying to act up in the store. He was being a little mouthy, I think, and I pinched him under the arm.
Ouch.
And he goes, "Ow, you pinched me." And I was like, "Yep, and I'll do it again." And he was like, "Oh, okay." But he was the one that, when I was in the car, I think he was 4. He was about 4. He was the one that challenged me all the time. He was about 4, and I'm driving down the street, and I think I wouldn't stop at McDonald's or something for him. He wanted something, and I was like, "No, we're going to go home." And we get to the stoplight, and he's in the back seat of the car, and he's mouthing to this woman in the next car, "Help me.
No.
Help me." Now, he didn't say it, but he's mouthing it to her.
Oh my God.
He had to be about 3 or 4. And so I didn't know what was going on until I drove probably another 3 or 4 miles, and I got pulled over.
What?
By the police.
Shut up.
Pulled me over. She took my tag down. She took my license plate down, and she called the police. And I think she probably even followed me a ways to tell them where I was, and they pulled me over. And yeah, they questioned me and everything. And finally, after that, I was like, "You can have them." I was like, "Just take them. It's fine."
You could take him.
And they were like, "No, well, ma'am, no, we don't want to take your child." I said, "You can have him, seriously. Because if he's
take him.
Give me this kind of grief and he needs some help, you are the help. Take him. You can take him." I'll call his dad and let him know that you have him. It's fine. I just need to go home.
I'm sorry.
Needless to say, they didn't take him. But, I wasn't going to let them stand there and give me the riot act like I'm a bad parent or I'm doing something crazy when this little militant midget back here is causing me all kinds of grief. So, like, no. I'm not going to stand here for this. Take him.
Oh my God. I have to give him props though, because that's brilliant. I mean, what 4-year-old does that?
Yeah. And he had to be at least 3 or 4 because he was still in the booster seat. So it was like he had to be about 3 or 4. But I didn't even know he was doing it, but I was so mad after that. And I was like, I don't think I took him anywhere with me for a very long time after that.
No.
I was like, no. Yeah. I was like, you can't ride with me. You have to stay home. You have to stay with Nana. You can't come with me.
I don't want
you
to.
You can't be trusted in
Mom,
the car.
can I come with you? No. No.
Oh yeah, it was no all the time. You can't be trusted. You riding with mommy is a privilege now. So you can't go. Yep.
See, I would have laughed.
I told him I'm gonna tell that story at his wedding.
Yeah, I will tell that. Yeah, I would. Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. So I'm guessing you
So
never
I
had,
guess
huh?
that's as close to a tantrum I think as I've ever gotten with the kid. That
Okay.
was probably as close to a tantrum.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
yeah, Tegan was the only one that ever did it, and it was for dramatic effect, and it didn't last past the age of 2, um, because it just didn't get anywhere.
Yeah.
So I never had that problem, but I never had a problem saying no to my kids either. I actually I found it fun, and I used to have other moms say, "Well, how do you get your kids to behave so well?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean? You talk to them, you teach them, you be a parent." And they said, "I know, but my kid keeps asking me for stuff." And I'm like, "Okay, so you tell them they can't have it." And they're like, "How do you do that?" And I just start laughing. I'm like, "What do you mean? Try this." No. And if that doesn't work, try no. I mean, there's so many ways you can say it. I used to just laugh, and I'd be like, I'll think about it. No. 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 But I am not a butt mom. I am mom. I'm not butt mom. You butt kid, butt dad. I'm not a butt mom. And so I never had a problem. And you could ask them now, and I'll still do the same thing. If they ask me something, I'll just say no. But I didn't even ask you. I don't know. Just no. I'm not in the mood. No. So, how exactly is this going to work? And I'm so glad we're doing this podcast, because how is it going to work when your 2 youngest are going through puberty and you are going through menopause at the same time? Because your 2 older ones, you had your full faculties, you had the energy, you were able to do all of those things, and this time, is it going to be any different? You think?
Yeah, I think it will be. Um,
You
I
think?
can't see you that good. Can you see me?
I can see you. You can't see me?
Okay. Not very well.
Oh.
You're kind of pixelated.
Oh.
But
How come I'm pixelated?
I think it'll be
Oh.
I think it'll be fine. I think
You
Lauren
hope
is
it'll be
I'm more
You hope it'll
well,
be fine.
I'm more concerned about Lauren. But I think with her personality and how easygoing and just, fun, I think she's gonna be fine. I don't see, because she's already trending in her early puberty stages.
Yeah.
So I'm already seeing that she's handling it very well. Ryan, I can see myself calling on his brothers a lot.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Especially the oldest one, especially Jaden. He'll listen to Jaden way before he listens to Aaron. He does not listen to Aaron. But he'll listen to Jaden. And I can see if he's like maybe 15, 16 years old, and just being out there, because I'm gonna be an old mom, to an old teenage mom. So yeah. I'm gonna be well into what? Will I be in my 60s? No, I'll be in my late.
You won't
50s,
be in
but
your
still.
60s, no.
No, I'll be in my late 50s, but still, that's to have a 15-year-old. That's gonna be, yeah,
Yeah,
a
mass
challenge.
kudos,
But
because you said last week that your parenting is different now because you just don't care and you're too tired. So I have that written down here because because I'm hoping
it still is. I'm still, yeah. That's why I say I will definitely be calling on the brothers for him. But for Lauren, I think we'll be fine. I think Lauren and I will be fine. I just don't think I can deal with Ryan. I can't deal with Ryan now.
Well,
It's a whole
if
problem.
he's summoning people at the age of 4 in the back of the car, I have no idea how you're gonna deal with puberty. Because I always thought that it was girls that were the problem during puberty. I had no problems with Tegan. Tegan was easy peasy with puberty. I mean, but it could be that I knew how to deal with her, and some chocolate, a bath, and some peace and quiet. You leave her alone. Don't talk to her. Leave her alone. Give her something to eat, and let her just deal with it. I knew to do that, so I never had a problem. But my boys were the biggest problem, and it was the crying, and it was like, what are you doing? Why are you crying? You're a boy. What's the matter? What is happening here? The drama was crazy.
Ryan cries so much we call him Crying Ryan.
Oh no.
Because he cries all the
Crying Ryan.
That's so emotional.
I gotta write these down. There was the
They're
militant
so
midget. I gotta write that militant midget. I love that. Crying Ryan. You're terrible. I thought I was bad. This is why we're friends.
Boys are very emotional. I didn't realize, having sons, that they would be more emotional than my daughter.
I didn't either.
Lauren is not emotional. I can't even remember the last time she cried over something. She had to be about maybe 5 or 6, if at that point. I don't even remember the last time she actually cried. But the boys?
Yep.
The boys, they cry. They're emotional. They're moody. Like, just moody. Like, why are you in a bad mood, sir? Like, what's going on in your life? You have bills to pay. What's the problem?
This is what I'm saying. Mine were exactly the same, but nobody said. Everybody focuses on the girls being the dramatic ones, and they cry, and they're so difficult.
Yeah.
I had the hardest time with 3 boys, because I had twins who went through puberty at the same time. And then at the tail end of it, Rory started, and it was just like, I didn't know what to do. I have 2 brothers. I don't remember them crying or being all dramatic or mopey or sad or doing all the... It's just like, what is happening? Why?
But maybe that's why my brothers always were like, my dad kept them, fixing on cars or, out in the yard or something. Maybe he saw something in their moods and he knew to keep them busy and keep them not focused on that or something.
There's Rena.
I don't know, because I don't remember. I never saw my brothers go through that.
I didn't either. Rena, you have 2 boys. Were your boys like dramatic and big old drama queens with snivelly, low crying, girly boys? It's terrible. I don't deal with other women who cry. It's even worse when it's a man or a boy child that is crying and for no reason.
And they can't tell you why. Yeah. They can't explain why they're crying.
Yeah.
What's going on?
I don't know.
It's like, you just want to throat punch them and say, man up.
Exactly. Emotions much more instinctually. Boys need more guidance. Do they, though? I think mine, I just wanted to slap him in the head and tell him to man up. That's what I wanted to do. I mean, I don't...
That's what I want to do.
Thank you. Just be a man.
How do you guide
Your
someone
father has no
emotions
at all, and then you people are crying like little girly boys. I was stuck in the middle, and I'm like, I don't know. I need a vacation. I need to get the hell out of this house because I don't know what you people are doing. I don't get it.
Not girly boys. I meant girly boys. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I just... Yeah. Tons of snark and the sighing. The sighing.
Yeah.
Yes, I do remember.
I even get eye rolls.
Oh, I had
even
a
get
few
the
of
eye
those.
roll.
Yeah. Did you just roll your eyes at me?
Yeah.
No. Yes, you did. Why don't you come over here and roll your eyes a little closer to me? Come on. They were like,
Ryan likes to slam doors,
take it off the hinges. Take the pins
and
out.
did
Okay.
and did
Okay.
immediately.
Yeah. That's a,
You didn't buy any doors around here, sir.
yeah. That's my door.
Those are my doors.
Exactly. Thank you. That's my door. You are not slamming and breaking my door. Or I'd follow them. If they slam it, I'd follow them and open the door and I'd slam it
Yep.
harder and then I'd open it again and say, that's how you slam a door. And then I'd walk away. Do it again and I'll take it off the pins. And
Yep.
yeah.
Lauren has never done that. I've never had her slam a door. She's never thrown anything. Ryan will throw. He has broken. I can't tell you how many remote controls, televisions,
What?
iPads, computer screens,
Oh.
emotional, just emotionally unbalanced.
TV.
He is very fortunate. He's fortunate he turned 10 because there was a time there he wasn't going to make it. It was rough.
Uh-oh.
It was rough. He had a praying grandmother who prayed over him because, yeah, I was going to take him out. Like, boy, what are you doing?
Wow.
Just because he was mad. He was just mad and wanted to break something and throw stuff and do all the things.
Oh. See, we had do you remember that Damn It doll, Aaron? I had a Damn It doll. It's a
Ooh, that sounds interesting.
yeah,
What is that?
maybe you should give it. Maybe I'll make one for you and send it so you can give it to Crying Ryan. It's a rag doll, basically, that you hold on to its legs and then you just slam it. That's what it's for, is for slamming. And you can, and damn it. It's like that. So when my kids were getting angry and
I
frustrated and
need that
breaking
now.
things. Oh, there's a picture of one up on the screen right now. Basically,
Oh, wow.
yeah. And I started my kids using that when they were about 3, and they couldn't control their emotions. They couldn't identify them, and mine still break remotes, but they have to buy their own. Yeah, mine don't break things because they know they need to replace them if they do. But I had my kids do it when they were getting irritated and they would get that, overwhelmed or whatever it was. I would just hand them the Damn It doll and tell them they could go and use their words. So they did. It gave them an outlet. And I think the breaking point for them, though, was they were wrestling at one point when I believe Rory was about 11 and the twins were maybe 13 or about 13. And one of them accidentally pushed or shoved the other one. He fell backwards and ended up hitting his head on a dresser and cut his head open. And that was the last time that they ever got physical with each other, because they saw what it did and they didn't mean to do it. So now the boys fight and they get irritated, but they don't throw things. They don't do that. They use their words, and one might leave and go for a walk around the block or something. But I think that scared them enough that it was like, I didn't mean to hurt you. I'm so sorry. And they've never done it since then.
Yeah.
Would I recommend having your kids fight like that to make a point? No. And it just happened so quickly and so easily for them. They were just angry and pushing each other, and there you go. Ends up with stitches in your head. So Hopefully.
I never had to deal with that. I didn't allow them to yell at each other or call each other names. I didn't allow them
Yeah,
to,
no name calling. No.
so opposite of my own childhood, okay? But I
Yeah.
didn't allow them to put their hands on each other. My rule was nobody gets to touch anybody except for me. I'm the only one that can put hands on anybody around here. So, but yeah, I didn't allow that from them because I know those things can have a long lasting
Yeah,
effect
they can.
on people, and you can hold on to those feelings
Yep.
for decades to come, and you create this relationship that isn't, a good one, a good
Yep.
relationship between each other, just because you've had the opportunities to hurt each other, either verbally or physically.
Yep.
If they had a disagreement, they had to figure it out, but they had to work it out in regular tone.
Yep.
No screaming, no hollering, no name
Yep.
calling. You either talk it out or you let it go. That's what they. So I think for them, they just realized it wasn't worth it, so they just let a lot of stuff go. And the stuff that they felt like was worth it, they talked it out, worked it out, and moved on.
Yeah. That's
But
what mine do now,
that
and
was the
that's
older
yeah.
two.
Yeah.
That was the older two. These young ones, they fight like cats and dogs. Okay.
Well, they're
I
very
can't.
close in age. And
The
and
other two are too.
well, yeah, that's true. I don't
They're
know.
all a
I'm
year
trying
and
to
a half
help
apart.
here. I'm trying to help. I don't know.
These two right here, they don't love each other unless they're fighting. You
Man.
separate them, you put them on punishment, then they're mad at me because you're on restriction. You're mad at me because I put your brother on restriction. I put your sister on restriction. It was your fault. You guys are the ones that's fighting. You didn't do that. How did I end up being the bad guy? But yeah, they fight and argue all the time.
But they're
All the time.
close.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the other two are too, but it's just different. Like
Different
I
dynamic.
get no
It's a boy and a
respect.
girl, maybe, is what it is. I don't
I
know.
think that's what it is. I think that's what it is, but they don't respect me.
Yeah.
No. The older two, yes. The younger two, no. Maybe because they know I'm old.
They know you're tired. They know you're tired, and they can sense it.
Yes.
It's like a pack
Yes,
of
I'm
wolves.
tired.
They know which one is the weakest link, and that would be you, not them.
That's true. I believe that.
They're gonna call your bluff, so you might want to be very, very careful what you threaten with.
Yeah. Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You better follow it up.
Yep. You better sit down and start thinking of some things that you can follow through with without getting arrested. Yeah.
That's the hard part.
Oh,
That's the
amen.
hard part.
I
right there.
know. I know. I do. I get it. It's not easy, and I don't think as we get older it gets any easier. And I thought it would, but whoever said that was lying and not telling the truth. Unless, of course, you have kids that maybe get married when they're in their early 20s and they leave and they have their own families and you just don't have to worry about it anymore because they're someone else's problem now. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. I also think it's generational, and we talked about this last week. A Gen X mom with Gen Z kids, and you've got, what generation are your kids? So the two oldest ones wouldn't be Gen Z, would they?
Alpha.
Are they all alpha?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, the older two are Gen Z.
Okay, on the edge
The
of
younger,
Gen Z.
the younger
Gen Z.
two are alpha.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope I live
That
long
like it
enough
too.
to see how this all plays out. So you and I can be really, really old watching, and then we can just sit there and laugh. We'll both retire to Arizona. No, Arizona's bad. We won't retire to Arizona. We'll retire somewhere and we'll just laugh. We'll just watch these kids and laugh.
Yeah.
I don't know. I have no idea. My week was pretty quiet this week. I don't think we did anything interesting. Did we, Erin? No. Yeah, it was pretty basic.
You needed a quiet week.
I needed a quiet week, I think. I did some research on the Yanni eggs. I think I found some that I'm gonna order. I did discover, Rena, that there are different ones that you do different things with. I know the ones that she said she has. I looked those ones up. And then I looked up other ones, and I think I'm going to go with the other ones because it just, I'm so curious. I have to. It's one of those things where I just have to, because the other ones, they come with instructions, Lynn. And exercises that you can do, and like going up and down stairs without it falling out, which I think is hilarious. And yes, I will have to film that because it's just so funny. And then there's some where you go for a walk and it can't fall out, and I don't know how these things work. But I have to find out. I just do. That's how my brain works. I need to know.
It sounds like a game you would do on field day or something,
right?
You know, like,
except an X-rated, because you can't really tell a bunch of kids to do something like that. It's like a grown-up X-rated version of some kind of challenge that you have to do. I want a prize when I'm
and
done.
If it falls out, it doesn't fall very far.
Well, not if you're wearing panties. If you're not wearing panties, it might.
Are you supposed to wear panties with it or no?
Well, I would think, because if it falls out, it's got to go somewhere. Otherwise, you're walking, because these instructions, now some of these instructions, you're supposed to keep it in for a good 20 minutes. That's like you work your way up. So if it, and you're supposed to just go about your ordinary business, but do things like Kegels while you're doing those things, and I don't know. I don't know. This is why I need to know. But I imagine you have to have on some kind of panties, because if you don't and it falls out, that would be embarrassing. What if you're at the grocery store?
Make an egg shape and not a cylinder shape.
Well, cylinder shape would be too long. No? It would be uncomfortable.
It'd be like a tampon.
Yeah, but a tampon would molds to the inside of your to the inside, like it's like so the this. And the egg
the egg is more comfortable.
I would imagine. I don't know.
A hard.
I did see some that were round, like a golf ball. Now, I don't know about that.
I saw those too.
I don't know about that.
Maybe the comfort part is why Rena suggested the silicone. Because maybe it's softer.
I don't know, because the silicone ones have the stick on the end. So you're not meant to pull it out and push it in. So you're not meant to wear it. No, the silicone ones don't have a string. It's a solid silicone stick kind of thing. Like,
so the one that was like a rock that
has a string. That one has a string. Yeah.
Are those the ones that are supposed to be like they give off healing properties or something, depending on the stone that you get?
That's what it says. Now, I don't know if that's complete bullshit or not, but maybe if you believe it enough, then it's true. And yes,
well, you have to be one of those people that believe in the properties of stones, and Well,
I have a whole bunch of different stones that I use when I'm meditating. I don't know if they actually. See, I don't know if they work and do anything other than it gives me something to have and focus on instead of thinking about things. You focus on the stones that you have in your hand, and that it's like a prayer bead kind of thing. It's supposed to take your focus away from thought and just focus on that. That's what I do. I don't know that I use them the way I'm supposed to. I imagine that there are many different reasons you use different stones for different things. The stick is flexible so you can use it to insert. Yes, but you can't really go up and down the stairs with the stick between your legs. I mean, I suppose you could, but it would be weird and uncomfortable. I have to do some more research, but from what I read, I'm leaning more to the solid stone ones. I also think maybe they might be cleaner, easier to wash, keep clean. I don't know.
I would think so over the silicone. What size are you going to get? Do they come in multiple sizes, or is it one
I found
size
them
and you
on
select
Amazon, and you can get them in sets of 3. So there's a beginner, an intermediate, and an advanced. Once I get to the advanced, I might be able to get a job in one of the strip joints where I can shoot things across the room with.
I should not have drank that at that moment.
I don't know what the advanced, what that gets you, but.
Ooh. So after you've tried this, so how long do you need to do this before you see results?
I don't know. That part I'll let you know.
We need to know that.
I don't know.
We need to know that.
We need to know. This is why I'm going to order them and see how it works. So I figure I'll order them, and then we have 2 weeks where we've got recorded episodes going on, and in that 2 weeks, I will do a video diary, and we'll put it up.
Well, we have to include Aaron in this.
I'm quite sure he's the one that gets the benefits, I think.
Right. So we need to tell us the before experience versus the after.
Honey, did you hear that? So you get the before and then the after. He has a big smile on his face, so okay.
That way we'll know if it works.
Yeah. I mean, somebody's got to tell me because I don't know.
Right, exactly.
How the hell am I supposed to know whether things are changed or different or anything?
Exactly.
Because I don't. I mean, I had, like I said, I had C-sections, so I don't pee when I laugh, so I don't need it for that. But I am in menopause, so I mean, I'll take anything that'll help. I'm open. I'll try anything once. If I don't like it, I won't do it again. But I'll try anything once.
That is hilarious. Okay.
So that is on the table. We're learning that. Let's see, what else did I do? I went to meetings. I went to the chiropractor. If anybody out there has any information on chair yoga, I need to find a chair yoga thing because my chiropractor would like me to do chair yoga because I'm not allowed to do full yoga.
But I do chair yoga with. I use an app.
Okay.
It's fun.
Is it? Even if it's because I do regular. I've never done chair, but apparently I have a medically broken back, and I'm not allowed to do regular yoga until they tell me I can. So, but I'll get
exactly what classifies a medically broken back versus a broken back.
Well, it means that there's things that are out of place that are not supposed to be out of place, and there's things that are split, and things that are broken but don't need surgery, and they aren't touching my spinal cord. So as long as they're not impeding on the spinal cord, then everything can be fixed without surgery. So that's one of the reasons why I have to do the chair yoga. And I need to find a infrared sauna, which I can't even imagine. I'll let you know how that goes, because I can't imagine being in a sauna and having a hot flash. I will feel like a turkey at Christmas. But I will do what they tell me to do. Not looking forward to that at all. Not really at all. And then they followed it up by saying, but we're booking you for a massage. And I said, oh, yay. And they said, no. No, not that kind of massage. We're going to do a medical massage, which apparently is very, very different and very clinical and very Helga kind of, right on in there. That's what in my head I picture a great big German woman coming in and just using her elbow,
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So, but I'll do what they tell me to do. I don't know. I'll do whatever they tell me to do.
So is this like physical therapy that you're going through with this?
It's sort of, I think it's like physical therapy, but it's the chiropractor, and they do all of this stuff there. What just happened? Oh, what'd you do that for? The screen just went weird. I get what's it called, Aaron? Electroshock therapy 3 times a week. That doesn't sound right. It's TENS. Do you remember when you were pregnant, and one of the pain options that you were offered was TENS? Now I don't remember what it stands for, but it's something electric shocking stuff. I don't know. It's these little, they put these little things on you, and then they turn up the shock value.
Yeah.
And
I got one of those.
You're supposed to say whether, when to stop. And if you don't, if it's too high, you end up like geese like this.
Spasm.
Yeah. I don't like that. That's not fun.
They put one on me when I had my physical therapy last year, and I think she turned it up too high too quickly because it caused me to lose my nerve. My one of my nerves in my arm stopped doing what it was supposed to do, and I had no feeling in my right arm for like 3 or 4 weeks.
Oh,
it was horrible. Yeah, so then I ended up having to get physical therapy for the arm.
Oh,
because of the physical therapy I was getting for the back. It was crazy. But anyway, so they did give me my own little personal one that I have here at the house, and you can get the little electrodes and you put them on your back or wherever you want, and you turn it up and down. Oh yeah, Renard loves it, but
Oh, what does he use it for?
Yeah, it worked.
Oh.
My back. Oh, what does he use it for?
Yeah,
his back.
Oh,
his back. Yeah,
huh.
It helps. It helps a lot.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, it's been working for us. It's not. It's not as much fun as you think it should be, because you think, okay, well, they're gonna help, and it's gonna, no. It's like this is not relaxing, so I'm not looking forward to the massage. And usually I'm all in for a massage, like absolutely I'll go, I'm in. But no, I don't. So I keep picturing in my head Helga coming in the room wearing an apron and a gray dress with big clunky shoes and yelling at me in German or something. I just no. So yeah. But I have to go to we had to go to our pain therapy. That's on Tuesday. And I don't know what they're doing now. We go once a month now, and last month they gave me some kind of ibuprofen, 7.5 milligrams, which is that's not a very high dose. And it doesn't do anything. And I still get the headaches. I've had a headache for the last month, and it's not helping. So, but apparently my spine up here is also out badly. So we're trying to fix everything all at once. And my arm, my leg, all the way down to my foot. So that's okay.
What caused it? Were you in a car accident or something?
Yes. I was in a car accident. I was, and apparently I took the hit. It was kind of funny because I told Tegan to sit in the front because if something happened, I would take the hit for her. And sure enough, I put it out there. I didn't know I was that powerful, but apparently I am. We were rear-ended by a girl who was on her cell phone, and our car stopped her car. And she didn't look up from her cell phone until impact when she hit the back of our car. So the three of us, Aaron and Tegan and I, were kind of thrown around a little bit. We thankfully had our seatbelts on, and we have a Volkswagen that has one of those, it locks when you're stopped. So it prevents the vehicle from accidentally rolling forward or something. If you get a foot twitch or something, it won't go forward. So that I think helped. And we had the hitch on the car, so she ran into the hitch. So there wasn't a lot of damage to our car.
Never heard of it.
Except for we're not sure about the underneath part. But there was damage to hers. Her whole front bumper was all buggered up and everything. So don't look at your cell phone while you're driving. It just should be so freaking simple.
But it's not. I had my truck was totaled.
I remember that.
3 years ago.
Yeah, I remember that.
From a guy who the light turned green. And I was already on the side of the road because I was waiting for roadside assistance. And his light turned green and he just floored it. But he never looked up. He just assumed because he was first in line that there was nothing in front of him, not realizing I had my flashers on. I'm sitting in the same lane that you're in. All the other cars were going around because they saw me. They were going around him. He wasn't looking on his phone. And thank goodness I was on the side of the road on my phone talking to my husband. Yeah. And I wasn't sitting in the truck at the time.
Yeah.
Because the way he plowed into the back of that SUV, I screamed so loud because I really thought I was going to see a really bad accident on his part. Like I didn't want to see whatever was there.
Yeah.
But he was blessed because he walked away. I mean, he had glass in his face and all his windows shattered. His car folded like an accordion. And I know that sounds a little cliche.
Yeah.
But it literally did. Like, I don't know if the impact did something to the back of the car as well as the front.
Yeah.
But the whole thing just kind of smashed.
Oh.
And he was like in the middle. He was able to get out and everything, but he had a little teeny car. I don't even remember what it was. But my car, I mean, you could see that it had like a little ding in the back, but it didn't look like it had any damage.
Wow.
And I was like, it was a GMC Yukon.
Okay.
And I was just like, okay, it's good, right?
Yeah.
No. Because the undercarriage, with all that force, it shifted everything off of the frame.
Okay.
And it totaled my truck.
Ugh.
I was heartbroken. It totaled my truck. That was,
I remember that.
That was
yeah.
my baby.
I remember that. Well, thank God you weren't in it.
Yeah.
Did
I'm
he
glad
did
I
he get a
wasn't in it.
ticket? Let me ask you, what happened to him? Did he get a citation? Did he get a ticket? Was
He
he
got a citation. He was really, really cool. He was a really nice man. Um, he had a really thick accent. I can't remember where he said he was from, but wherever he was from, he's here working for a company that makes coffee.
Oh, God
Believe it or not,
bless.
coffee and tea and stuff. So, um, he was very apologetic. He took full ownership, of what happened, accountability for what happened, and yeah, I mean, he got a ticket and he told the police when they got there that it was his fault. And, he just apologized. Apparently, his phone rang at the time when the light changed and he just started driving. And I guess, sometimes if you're looking at your phone, you think you're only looking at it a second. And
Yeah.
those seconds kind of, you don't realize you've been looking at it for so long.
Yeah.
And yeah, by the time he looked up, it was too late. He was literally in the car at that point.
But we have footage of this girl because the backup camera also records, and we watched it. This girl was not just glancing at her phone. She was on her head was down, and she was like this until she hit, and then she looked up. Like, we saw it. And I was so angry. I was so mad. But nothing happened. Do you know she did not get out of the car and come over and see if we were okay? We pulled off.
What do you mean nothing happened?
She didn't get, as far as we know, she maybe got a fine, but that's it. She didn't have a driver's license. And it wasn't her car, it was her parents' car. And she was on her phone. But we were asked to leave before the police officer dealt with her, which I don't understand. I don't know why that happened. Somebody did say that it could be because she was a minor, and so they were being very sensitive with her or something. And I'm like, why are we being sensitive with her? Why are we treating her like she's the victim? We were stopped at a red light. We didn't do anything. We were just stopped at a red light.
Well, the idea that if that was the case, the idea that she's a minor, she was driving a car that wasn't hers, she didn't have a license, instead of asking you to leave, maybe allow you to stay until the parents arrive.
Oh, they
or
did.
The owner of the car.
The father did.
So like, yeah, you shouldn't have had to leave.
The father did arrive, and he didn't come and ask my daughter and I if we were okay. He just talked to Aaron. And the police officer was maybe 12. His uniform didn't fit. It was like Doogie Howser Police Edition. The sleeves of his uniform were too long. It didn't fit in the shoulders, and his badge was really shiny. So I'm guessing he was just out of the academy, and he even looked irritated to be there. And he came over to the car, and I was in the back seat behind Aaron, and Tegan was in the front seat, in the passenger seat, and Aaron was driving. And I got out of the car, and I got into the front seat to sit down and to see if Tegan was okay. We pulled into the parking lot because we were on a main street, and there were two shopping malls there was one on either side of us, so we just pulled into the shopping mall and parked until the police got there. And so I got out of the car, and I sat in the front seat with the door open, and I was talking to Tegan to make sure she was okay. I'm a mom. It's what I'm going to do. And the police officer actually came over to me, and he said, "Excuse me, ma'am, were you the driver?" And I looked at him and I said, "No, my husband was the driver. You just talked to him." And he said, "Well, you're sitting in the driver's seat." And I said, "Yes, I'm talking to my daughter." And I was in the back seat. And he said, are you sure? And I just sat there and I looked at him. I said, am I sure? Yes, I am 100% positive. I did not hit my head, and I was not the driver. I was in the back seat, but I am sitting in the driver's seat because I'm talking to my daughter. And if you'd like to ask her if she's okay, she's sitting right here. Thank you for asking me if I'm okay. I'm okay. Doogie, just annoying. But this girl did not get out of the car. She did not say a word to us. She did not come over and ask if we were okay. She did not apologize. Nothing. And then when her dad got there, he was joking about everything. It's, I'm really sorry this happened. Kids, she wanted to go to Dutch Bros and get a coffee. And, I know she shouldn't have been driving, but I did tell her to be careful. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, so you gave her permission knowing that you gave your daughter your car knowing that she doesn't have a license, but you said, be careful. Well, that's good enough for me. Absolutely. Jesus, she's lucky that she hit us and not someone who was crossing the crosswalk while she wasn't looking, because that person would be dead right now. But by all means, wait until
in the car.
Exactly. By all means, you wait until we're gone, and then you can deal with her and her sensitivities. Why? Because she might cry? Maybe she needs to. I still do not understand why everyone was tiptoeing around her when she was not the victim. She was the one who did this, and there were no repercussions. None.
It seems like there's a lot of that going around. Like, I see a lot of videos going around now where the victims are being treated as, the progressors or the people that were in the wrong, especially when it comes to like car accidents and, or even I saw one video where someone tried to break into this lady's house. The police get there and they basically interrogate her.
The homeowner?
And she was like, yeah. And she was like, wait, this is my house. And he tried to break into my house. I have it on video. It's on my Ring camera. You can see it if you like. This is my house. Like, they were actually trying to make it seem like she wasn't supposed to be there. She's like creating a problem. It was weird. It was a very weird thing to watch. And I was like, this is becoming a trend. I remember when Jaden got in his car accident back in October.
Yeah.
And the same thing. The police got there and they kind of tiptoed around the situation. They didn't even want to give a ticket to the guy who ran into him. They allowed the guy to give them bogus information. He didn't even give them his real name. Like, they didn't check anything. Oh, it was terrible. Trying to get the stuff from the insurance company that didn't exist. It wasn't his car. It was his mom's car. The mom come out there and she said nothing to Jaden and his passenger. She just, dealt with the police officer.
That's what this guy did. Yeah, that's what this guy did too.
He co-signed on giving the fake information, and the police officers were just kind of like, I don't know. They didn't even do a police report. No police report.
Oh, wow.
It took Jaden 3 weeks to get an actual report because this police officer apparently was off work that Friday or whatever.
Right.
No, he was off work. It was 2 days in between. He didn't come back until Friday. So it was like a 2 days in between from the day of the accident. He had to wait 2 days till the officer came back. The officer came back and never wrote a report. And then he went down to the police precinct and they said, oh, it's optional. He doesn't have to write a report.
how do you deal with the insurance companies or lawyers if you don't have a police report?
They said he had to go to DMV.
What the hell is the DMV going to do?
Report.
What?
Nothing. The DMV does nothing. Not here.
What?
But
no, I mean, why would they?
I see. You don't go to the DMV to get a police report.
That's got nothing to do with it. Exactly.
They sent him to the DMV to get a police report. And he did, and he did not get it because they looked at him like he was crazy when he got there. Like, we don't do that. It was the longest, most tedious process, and I was like, I feel like I'm dealing with Barney Fife. Like, what are we doing right now?
I think they're all like that right now.
What's going on? Yeah, it's like, what's happening to the police department? Are you guys really going through any real training, or are they just putting a badge on anybody? Like
I think they're just
drivers.
I think they're just doing it. We had some guy about 3 weeks ago, Aaron. I was home, and Aaron was here in the studio. And were you home, Aaron, when that person was shaking the door? And some random person was at the front gate of our house, and they were shaking it and trying to see if it would open. And so the Ring camera went off, and I picked up my phone. I was looking at it. I'm like, what the hell? So I came into the studio. I'm like, Aaron, did you see that? And he said, what's going on? And I showed him. And so we were watching this person, and they went in front of the garage, and then they went around the side of the house, and then they came back, and they checked the door again, and then they left. And so I went outside, and I was just trying to see where they went. Aaron phoned the police, and I watched the guy walk down the street and then down a cul-de-sac, and he did the exact same thing to every single house in the cul-de-sac, and then made his way down the rest of the street. That's why Aaron called the police. He didn't call the police because he was trying to get into our house because we were home. It's not a big deal, but he was doing it to all the houses. Well, it turns out about maybe half an hour it took the police to get to our house, and when they did, there was about 12 of them that showed up.
Oh, wow.
And I was laughing because I opened the gate, and I'm like, exactly how many police officers does it take to find one person walking down the neighborhood? And they didn't think that was funny. There was no sense of humor whatsoever. But they didn't do anything. They did nothing. And so Aaron and I were like, well, I'm sorry, maybe we shouldn't call you. Like, I'm sorry if we were bothering you, but I thought maybe our neighbors might want to know that, there's somebody trying to break into their house. Silly me. I won't do it again. I'll deal with it myself. So
I would like to know what 911 said to them to make them think that it required 12 police officers to show up.
I did check the Ring app, and apparently there was someone else who was, now whether it was the same person or not, I don't know, but a couple of blocks away there had been somebody doing a similar thing the night before, so they may have known that somebody was doing this and breaking into houses.
Yeah.
Why in our neighborhood, I don't know, because our neighborhood is not exactly the neighborhood that you're going to break into. It's more the neighborhood where the people who do the breaking in live. It's not a terrible neighborhood, but it's definitely not like if you're picking neighborhoods to break into, this would not be my first choice. My first choice would be, one of the gated ones or something, and there's no gates here. Just not even an HOA. I mean, come on. Find one with an HOA.
About your neighborhood, I think you live in the hood. Do you?
I do live in the hood. It's not exactly fancy. We live in a normal neighborhood in the city. Like, it's a city neighborhood. It's not fancy. It's not bougie. It's not it's not. I mean, it's just a regular, ordinary, everyday neighborhood. It's middle class all the way. I mean, you know, there's nice cars in the driveways and everybody keeps everybody keeps everything looking nice, but it's like I said, it's not exactly the neighborhood that you're going to break into. No. It's the neighborhood that SWAT comes to every once in a while. Because we have woken up to that a couple of times. Haven't we, honey? Come out with your hands up. It's like, okay, what did I do this time? Like, what? I have an alibi. I swear to God. I was home. Oh, wrong house. Sorry.
My neighborhood is the neighborhood where the homeowners are older people, but their children are wanted. So it's like when they're hiding out from the police, they come home to their parents' house, and then the police come and shut down the neighborhood looking for these people that are on the wanted list.
Okay. Yeah, that's
my neighborhood.
That sounds pretty similar.
It's a lot of older people. Yeah, it's a very, it's a lot of older couples and people, and
that would be
mostly retired,
Yeah, there's no young kids in our neighborhood. There's no young kids in our neighborhood.
We have some young kids, but they're like really, really young. They're like, elementary school young. We have a few that have some teenagers, but overall, when the problems come to the neighborhood, it's because one of those adult children got in trouble out there and decided to hide out at their mom and dad's house because they think the police won't be able to find them.
This is what I'm saying.
So, yeah, it's like, it's crazy. It's crazy. So.
I thought it was lovely. I love my neighborhood, Rena. Rena's been to my house. She stayed with me when she came to visit. I love my house. I mean, I have a great big backyard. It's very private. I can't touch my neighbors on either side. So it's an older neighborhood. That's the only thing. It is an older neighborhood built in the 70s in Vegas. So, I mean, there's a lot of palm trees. There's a lot of greenery. The streets are extremely wide. And we have a good sized property, which is, and the house itself was built in 1973. So it's mid-century modern. It's got a lot of windows. There's nothing but windows along the back of the house, which I love. And a great big pool. And it's private. But if you go a couple blocks in any direction, you don't know what you're going to find. It's
right.
I think it's because of the city planning, the way they've done it in Vegas. You can find a nice neighborhood that's in the middle of a trashy neighborhood. You can find a trashy neighborhood in the middle of a really nice neighborhood. It just depends on what street you turn down, and you may be like, ooh, I probably shouldn't come this way when I go home next. I'll go down the other street. But like I said, it's not really the neighborhood that people break into on a regular basis. Now,
yeah, because this is the second time though. Like, first it was with Tink, and now you got the guy that's testing the doors, and it makes you wonder: is it the same people?
I don't know. I don't think it is, but there are. I mean, there's a lot of homeless people here, and they are around the outside parts of the neighborhood, but our house is in the middle, so you kind of have to drive in a circle around and around and around to get to our house because we're in the middle of the neighborhood. And so we shouldn't have a lot of people just wandering the streets where we are, but sometimes we do. Sometimes they just go for a walk. I don't know. I think they come to see what's going on. And like I said, there's nice cars parked in the driveway. I mean, it's not unusual to see the fancy cars in the driveway because if people were smart when they bought their homes here, then they've made some money.
heard you.
Okay. Because we.
Ryan, he caught me slipping. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's
Ryan
okay.
caught me slipping.
Uh-oh.
He knew I was busy, and he came in and asked for a Mountain Dew, and I said yes. And then I checked the time, and I was like, no. So I had to mute myself to say no.
No take backsies.
Oh yeah. 10 o'clock, Mountain Dew?
Oh, yeah, no.
No.
Oh, I never
No.
let my kids drink it anyway. So
Yeah.
I was
He'll be
that
off the Richter
terrible
scales
mom.
forever. Yeah, like, why are you even asking me for soda? Like, really?
Have a glass
You-
of water. How come he's
He
still up?
knows.
He should be in bed, sleeping. School tomorrow.
They don't have classes until 1 o'clock.
Well, you homeschool them, don't you?
Yeah.
We'll give them something else to do in the morning. You gotta wake up and feed the
No.
chickens and the hogs and do the
I work
taxes.
in the morning, so no. I prefer they stay asleep so I can work. I will work until about maybe 10, and then I'll get them up, and then they can start worrying me and doing their stuff. But between 8 and 10, I'm getting all of my phone calls, emails, and all the things that I can do done before they come driving crazy.
I think, that's making me tired. I think I'm unconscious at 8 o'clock in the morning. No, I'm awake.
Really?
I just don't get out of bed. Yeah. I don't have to.
I don't know why I thought you were an early bird.
No, I'm a night person.
Me
Nighttime.
too. I'm a night owl.
I'm a night person. I'm not asleep until about 3 in the morning. Yeah, Aaron just said we'd be divorced if I was a morning person. We're both night people. But I did my time. I spent years and years and years and years getting up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and now I don't have to, so I don't. I just find it.
Yep.
I don't do anything if I get up at 8 in the morning. I don't have to make phone calls or have meetings or anything that early, so I don't know why I would be up. I have no reason to be up at 8 in the morning.
Yeah.
But I do a lot of work at midnight and 1 in the morning if I have to do something, because that's when I have my energy. I'm more creative.
I'll work until about 1:30ish, I guess.
Yeah.
Then I start kind of wrapping things up. So a lot of time my clients, they know that they can call me at 9, 10 o'clock at night because I'm up. And I
Yeah.
prefer it. I'm like, yeah, call me, because as a planner, a lot of times they can't do stuff until after 5 or 6 anyway.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, you can call me. So my hours are kind of flipped. But I have people that are on your coast,
Yeah.
and I have people in other areas. And so, like, I have one lady who's in the Bahamas. So I'm on her
Oh.
time sometimes. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because, like, what time is it there? 7?
7:23. Yeah, almost 7:30.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's 10:23 here.
Yeah. And you're still
Yeah, so I'll be up until about 2.
and you're up at 8, so you don't sleep any more than I do. Yeah, see, I got into a habit of doing that more and more when the kids were smaller, because I need that time, and I need it more now than I did, I think, when they were little. I need that time for me to do the things that I want to do that don't include kids or husband or other people.
Anybody
It's
else.
for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't
people.
lose that part of me, and I can hang on to it. So I got into a habit of, I guess you'd call it almost like a self-care kind of thing. So after everybody goes to bed, I'm the last person that's still up. And I like that. I like that wind down time, because it's almost regenerative for me. It's just how I recharge after whatever bullshit I've had to deal with during the day. And I know that I'm not going to get interrupted by kids. I'm not going to get interrupted by phone calls. I'm not going to get interrupted by anything. It's just what I want to do, and I get to do whatever I want to do. That's the only time that I have. So
my house is alive until about midnight.
Yeah.
Those kids are up, and the husband is up, and everybody's awake until about midnight. Then it starts kind of dwindling down.
Yep.
And then I am up until 2:30, sometimes even 3.
Yep.
And then I turn around, but I do get up relatively early to get my coffee. I am no good if I haven't had my coffee and my at least 30 minutes of just quiet. Like, don't talk to me. Don't ask me for anything. I just need my time before anything else happens. And then I get my work done. I'm doing whatever I need to do. Because, with the travel, this is the best time for me to do my travel stuff is from 8 till 10.
Yeah.
Anyway. And the kids are knocked out. They're asleep. And I'm like, yes, thank you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I wake them up around 10. I wake them up around 10, and it takes them about an hour to get themselves together, to fully wake up and figure out what they have to do. And by the time they've eaten, gotten themselves together, it's time for class.
Yeah.
Works out.
That's pretty much how it works here too. Yeah.
Yeah, class is only like 2 hours.
What does that say? Yeah, I know a lot of people who don't do that. My people won't leave me but until about 4. Yeah, I know Rena's also a night person. We have a lot of our chats at nighttime. I don't know. In the summertime, that's when I will pour a cup of coffee and I'll go and sit in the pool. It's about 1 a.m. Mostly because it
With
takes
coffee?
Yeah. Well, because then the water is nice and cool, but the coffee is still, I get the coffee and I still, we have a big shelf seat at the end of the pool in the deep end that you can sit in and you can just sit and relax. It's quiet. Usually there's Mexican music playing somewhere in the background because I'm in the Hispanic neighborhood. So there's music.
Really?
Oh yeah. They're always having a party here somewhere. Oh yeah. I went from the border.
Neighborhood in Texas.
Yes, I know. And then I ended up in the Hispanic neighborhood here. Yes. I don't know how it happened. I really don't know how it happened. I just it's the house. I didn't know the neighborhoods. So when I was looking at houses, I was still in Texas. Aaron was here physically looking at them. And I would just be looking at the houses that I liked and sending them to him and saying, okay, go here, here, here. Because our realtor was useless as tits on a bull. I swear to God. She had 5 houses we bid on before we got this one. So, I mean, we're lucky we have one. But we have made money off of this house, so the neighborhood's not that bad because it's being revitalized. The whole area is being revitalized. So every time somebody renovates their home, our property goes up. So, I mean, I did my research. I'm not dumb when it comes to that sort of thing, but it's still, I don't know how we ended up in the Hispanic neighborhood. But yes, there's always a party going on. It is what it is. I know.
Wow.
And then yesterday or the day before, I was making my bread, and for me that's supposed to be on a Friday. It's supposed to be relaxing. I make my bread. I have my earbuds in. I've got it turned up way louder than it should be. I'm having a good time. My kids would not get out of my kitchen. And I had to keep moving like out of their way because they keep using the dish. They want to open the dishwasher and close the dishwasher, and I'm trying to do things, and it's my kitchen. Get out of my kitchen. Go away. But I'm hungry. I don't care. Go away. This is my time. Get out of my kitchen. But we're hungry. I don't care. You could have eaten before. Now you have to wait until I'm done. Get out of my kitchen. So this is exactly why I do things at nighttime. Then I don't have to do that without having people in my kitchen. Not that I can. I don't think I've ever made bread in the middle of the night, but I probably could. Might be quiet.
I was going to ask you, have you ever done that?
No. I've painted rooms. I've redone furniture. I mean, you never know. I've been outside, like cleaning things outside in the middle of the night because it's hot during the day, and when you get hot flushes, you know, you kind of want to do things when it's cool. So sometimes the only time it's cool in the desert is the middle of the night. So I was out. I've been out trimming the hedge in the front driveway at like 2 a.m. Well, it's the only time that it's cold enough to do it. And it gets a little overgrown. You got to keep your hedge trimmed.
Is it hot there now?
Today was a little warm. It was actually really nice. Right now it is, let me see.
It was 90 here.
Let's see here. Hang on. I got to switch it over to Fahrenheit for you. It was 80 here today. So it was nice. It wasn't too bad.
That's decent.
Yeah, that's nice spring. Like we're hitting spring weather right now. What I call spring weather anyway. It will be warm though, because we're looking at 91 Thursday, 92 Friday. So 87 Saturday. Tomorrow is 83. Yeah, so we're getting a little bit warm by the end of the week, but is it gonna last? I don't know. There's snow on the mountains. They had snow yesterday, day before yesterday, and that was a pretty icy wind that we get in the valley when it snows on the mountains. So that was a little chilly, and then we woke up to spring weather. So I don't know. We'll see. Is it cold there? You said 90 degrees? Yeah. We're still looking for solar.
For us, it's hot. That's hot for us. So.
Well, 90 already. Yeah.
Yeah. Not looking forward to the summer at all.
Maybe it won't be a hot summer. Maybe it'll be a hot spring, and then it'll cool down during the summer, and we'll have an icy, freezing cold winter again. Or, well, we didn't get a winter here. I don't know what you got. But we only got about 2 weeks.
We got 3 snowstorms this winter. But
really?
They didn't happen until like January and February.
Oh.
That was it.
That's West Coast winter. January, February. Huh, I wonder why. But you also didn't get a lot of hurricanes or anything like that this year on the East Coast, did you? Like not a lot.
Nope.
And usually there's quite a few. Yeah. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know.
I don't think anybody does.
Nope. Not even the penguins.
We're all on this roller coaster ride together.
Even the penguins.
Oh my goodness, we're not talking about the penguins, okay? Did you see somebody had them marching with backpacks on, and they were like
I spent all day Friday looking at memes, and I was crying. I had tears streaming down my face. I was laughing so hard at some of the stuff that people were doing with these damn penguins, because I don't care who you voted for. It was funny. It was funny. And if you don't think it's funny, you have a problem, because it was hilarious. It's hilarious. I didn't
can't
know
believe
anything about it until I talked to my parents, and my parents are from Australia, and my dad's like, you know that there's a little island off the coast of Australia that's called Heard Island. And I said, yeah, I mean, my parents taught us about the geography. And they're like, well, you know that nobody lives there. It's just a rock, right? And I said, well, isn't that like a sanctuary or something where they have like penguins and things like that? And Dad said, yes, that's exactly what I'm talking about. He said, you know, they're being tariffed. And I'm like, no, they are not. Dad, that's not funny. Don't be silly. He's like, you go look it up, Raquel. I'm telling you.
They are.
That's what's happening right now. So I looked it up, and sure enough, I'm like, well, I'll be damned. He's like, let me tell you, those penguins are not happy. They are pissed. They are pissed because they don't know how to pay it back. They don't know what to do. So we'll see. I don't know.
I want to know who created this list of places.
Flippers up. That's exactly, yeah. If you find out, let me know. Because I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen next, quite frankly. I think right now you have
we're
to
stuck in a sitcom.
You have to have a sense of humor. You really do, because I mean, this stuff, you can't write this stuff. I'm a writer, and there's no way, and I have a sense of humor, but there's no way I could come up with this stuff. There's no way. What's next? Like, what is next?
I know.
When there's a hurricane, is there going to be a protocol? And if they don't pass protocol, can the hurricane not can it just go over the entire Atlantic and not? Who's in charge? Who's in charge of the hurricane season? And I don't.
Wait. First, it was people receiving checks that are 150 years old. Millions and millions and millions of people. And now the wildlife of islands that are not habited have to pay a tariff. What are they getting from the island? What are we getting from them that they have to have a tariff on it?
Well, is it big enough? It's not big enough to build on, which I think would be like the motivation, right? Because you want it.
Wasn't it two places? It was two places that.
There's another smaller island, I think, that also is being tariffed. I don't know if it's just empty or not. I don't know. I try not to pay too much attention because I'll drive myself crazy, but
you can't miss it though on social media.
Oh, I know.
People are just
this is why I said I spent all day Friday, like, the memes were limitless. Absolutely limitless, and it was funny, very, very funny. All the way from, you know, when he's having this penguin is having a meeting in the White House, and at least he wore a suit. I mean, he showed up with a suit, right? So that was good. That was good.
You know what? It's Heard and McDonald Island.
That's what it is, McDonald Island. Yeah. And I don't know. I have no idea. Don't look at me. You have to have a sense of humor. That's all I can say. Because we just don't know what's next. And you can't, there's nothing we can do, really, is there? You just have to brace yourself for whatever happens and hope for the best at this point. A lot of people think it's normal. A lot of people don't. I don't know if any of it's normal. I don't understand that part. But there seems to be a consensus of some individuals that this is a normal thing to happen and it's a good thing. I don't.
Well, if it is a normal thing to happen, it's definitely something they should have continued to keep to themselves.
Right. I mean, if it's normal, that implies that this has happened before, right? We just didn't know about it. I prefer your idea. Yeah, that we just don't know about it. I prefer that, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would
need to know that.
Where do I put my name on that list of need to know? Is this above my pay grade?
Right.
Above my pay grade. I want to be on the need to know basis. You just let me know when something big is coming, and we'll go from there. Because I don't know. I have no idea. However, I think that's about it for today, though. I think we're going to wind it up. Aaron? Anything? No. What's coming up this week? I don't know. We have our chiropractor tomorrow. And then we have our pain doctor the day after that. We might get Tink back soon. I'm hoping. Okay. And things are going to be very different for the next first Friday. Because there's a stage at the place where we usually film that has now been built where there will be a show, which is kind of exciting. Yep. So there will be a comedy show, and there will be a music, and there's a band that's going to be playing, and a full comedy show. And the weather should be nice for the next first Friday. And it's outside of One of Us Comics. So that'll be interesting on Commerce Street. That's next month. So we still have a little ways to go with that. Easter's coming up. Passover's coming up. What else is happening? I think that's about it. Have some meetings middle of the week. That's about it. Yeah. Pretty boring. Yeah.
I'm not going to be bored at all.
No. I hope I'll be bored. I would like to be bored just for a little while. Use my imagination and come up with something to do. I haven't had to do that in a while, and I would like to have nothing to do. That would be nice. I don't remember what that feels like. Nice. I don't remember what that feels like.
I haven't had that since COVID.
No, I haven't either. But I'd like to. Maybe if we put in a request now for Mother's Day, I'd like nothing to do. We have 15,000 likes on TikTok. We didn't even talk about anything interesting except the fact that I'm bougie and live in the hood. Okay, I'm supposed to say goodnight, everybody.
Good night.
Good night. We'll see you next week.